Hello guys, this is Lola Chila. Welcome back to my channel, and it's a beautiful Saturday here, and we are at this place called Karibu Inn with my very good friend Esther.
Hi.
Yeah, by the way, me and Esther, we met under very funny circumstances.
I know.
I love it when women meet and relationships progress to be something else unexpectedly.
Especially because of the conversation.
Especially because of the conversations. When you meet someone whose ideas and ideologies align, you feel like you tend to gravitate towards them. Now me niliita Esther hapa nikasema I kept on thinking of Esther, and I was like, there are certain discussions I've always wanted to have on the vlog, and I thought she would be the only one who would comprehend and understand
Thank you.
exactly what we will be talking about, and especially because we are more or less, do you consider yourself a Nairobi girl?
Not really. Mimi, I came here first.
Yes.
Just to give it context, I was in uni here, Nairobi Uni, but then I was a child. Then I came back in 2021 with a bit of money here and there. So now I'm not really a Nairobi girl, but because I am in the pool, today I'll be a Nairobi girl.
I think that contrast is really good. I love the contrast.
I'm from Nakuru.
Exactly. Because personally, I'm a Nairobi girl, and our perspectives, I'm sure, are a bit different. But even as women, having lived and grown up in Kenya, they are also similar in other ways. So guys, please, if you love this conversation, leave a comment down there below, and also subscribe, like, share, and let us know exactly what you feel about the topic we are going to be talking about now. So
I know. We're talking about good, logical, and bad girls.
Yes. Growing up as women in society, you hear a lot about the good girl, the bad girl, and also along the way there is this kind of girl who is forgotten, who is the logical girl. And we are going to be trying to dissect all that today to learn exactly what really that means and how it has affected the two of us growing up in a society where women are conditioned to be a certain way, so that you can fall into a certain category.
And the dichotomy of it all, like if you're not a good girl, you're a bad girl. So
like let me ask you, do you consider yourself a good or a bad girl?
Well, maybe I need hours to describe where I fall in between that, because I've had my season of being a good girl. Where do I start? I was a church girl, like up to I think 27, 28. I'm still a church girl.
When we met, you were even like, oh, you know, I'm going to church.
I'm not saying I'm not a church girl, but there's that mentality for me that if you're not a church girl, you are in the world, and if you're in the world, you will go to hell.
You're a bad girl.
You're a bad girl. So I had that, but now I think I'm a logical girl. Because I was a good girl because I was grooming myself, because I needed, I don't know, like it's this society that tells you as a woman 1, 2, 3, as a woman 1, 2, 3, and then now there's this other spectrum of a bad girl. I don't know, but I have nothing against bad girls. I have nothing against good girls, but I'm like, we don't have like to have that
divide or that segmentation.
But you know, now the thing is, a bad girl according to society is a girl who chooses themselves, a girl who knows. And that's why you'll hear people being told, don't marry women above 30 years, because these women know what they want, and sometimes knowing what you want in a society, in this patriarchal society, is not always a good thing for women. So I know I have labored that point, but I like to say you can be whoever you want to be, and that's the point, you know. And for me, I consider myself a logical girl, not a bad girl, not like the good girl I used to be. I'm just figuring it out.
I think growing up, I used to not even think, you know, you come to realize later that you were more or less conditioned to be the good girl. You get. So for me, a good girl was the kind of person who doesn't go to a club, doesn't drink, you know, listens to parents, does everything they're told to do, go to school, get your education, get a job, doesn't get pregnant along the way when you're not prepared, or, you know, teenage pregnancies and the like. That was being a good girl for me, and I think I fit the bill. And I fit the bill to the point of, I think in my 20s, even most of the men who would approach me, you know, when you're in that age where you know, it's considered right to settle down and date and settle down in the long run.
Yeah.
That is from around 23 when you're done with campus. 23 to around 28. You know, most men, I think, most men used to approach me because I portrayed that image of a good girl.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yes,
it's annoying.
Yes, like, you know, someone would meet you and they'd be like, you look like you'd make a very good wife.
You're not like other women.
You're
me, actually, that's what men used to tell me. Okay, I know, forgive me, girls, but I used to be like, yeah, you know, I'm not like other women. You know, oh my God, as if that is a compliment.
Yes,
as if that's a compliment. Yeah, but I get you and I hear you because. For me, I used to think that when you fit that bill, like, don't drink, I never dated. Me, in my early 20s, I never dated. Like, dating to do what? So that we can fall in sin. so anyway, that was me then. And it's a trap. It's a trap because what I expected to be the reward.
Yeah, that's the thing, cause it wasn't like you're conditioned by society that be a good girl. It would be a good girl for yourself.
Yeah,
it would be a good girl so that this and this things can happen for
yourself.
You can get a good husband. Society can respect you.
Yeah,
you know, it's like technically it's like nothing bad will happen to you. Things will just fall in line.
But for me, I feel like my turning point, and it's very important to say this. I think it was 2019. I was a good girl. You know, I was ticking all the boxes. But somehow in my mind, I have always been very curious, liberal. Even when I was uko undani kwa church kabisa, I used to really ask a lot of questions. And then now 2019, 2020 came. COVID came and now there wasn't going to church, and before we figured out the whole live thing, Facebook live thing, there was a hot minute where you are just alone, you know. So now I was like, without church, without this good girl image, who am I? You know, like, who really is Esther? Yeah, and I figured out I do not have to put myself in a certain box to be accepted.
And that only happens when you silence the noise in your head.
Yeah.
And sometimes you never know when that silencing of the noise comes in, but it just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. And I'm so glad. I usually say I'm so glad COVID happened. Because even when it comes to relating with God now, with all these questions and this new space that I'm in, it's different.
So you're in church but still questioning.
I'm in church, but I'm not losing myself, because I see church, for me, and maybe I could be wrong, but for me, I think church is a social place where believers of Jesus Christ meet. So it is a social place. It's not a place where I go because I am the holy one. Yeah. Because Kitambo, by the way, that was my badge of honor. I'm not like other women. Yeah. But they, if you, so, and these people were telling me, they do you dirty. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm in church. I mean, I believe in God. I have a relationship with God. But I'm also Esther. I'm God's Esther. Yeah. I'm God's Esther. Like, in the sense that I have a place for my own beliefs. I have my which are in God. I have a place for my own routines, you know. And I feel like that good girl image, also to add, it's like I'm Tego. Because you screw up a bit or you mess up a bit, and you're beating yourself every other day. It takes out the humanity. You know, like the way we usually tell ourselves in life, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, that's okay. But then you factor in the notion that you're a human being after all. You will mess up. You will make bad decisions. So when you make bad decisions, do you beat yourself up because of it? Because when I was, and probably that's a me problem, not a church problem, I have to say that. When I was, you know, that good girl, I would make a simple, probably I'll kiss a boy, and then I'd be like, the whole week, you know, like, I'm oh my God, no wonder I'm not getting new jobs. This kissing boys, I have kissing boys.
I'm telling you, at that time, it's just a stage of life you're going through.
Yeah, and also there's a place of my hormones and how, you know, so I would feel unworthy. You know, like the way, there's a time I think I was 25, and I was like, how many people have I kissed?
Yeah.
And it's kiss. By kiss, it's not even a feminism. I'm meaning
so you're counting them in your
yeah.
head, and
and they're like 7.
Your eyes are going like,
and they're like 7. And then I was like, no wonder my life is not going well. These kissing boys are
good girls don't do
and
that.
it's like in a jitega, it's like you are making a trap for yourself.
It's like, yeah, good girl, you mess up, no reward.
Yeah, no
it's
reward.
Like good girls have to be rewarded by the end of the day.
Yes, and now the place that I am now, the logical girl, is like I make mistakes, which I do.
Yes.
But I am human. I am able to ask God for forgiveness. I am able to talk to God even when I've made a mistake. I am able to ask God as my father. So it provides that for me. But now this whole this messing up, I'm messing up. No wonder.
You know, for me, I think the good girl for me comes in when because of the positioning in our family. I'm the eldest. I'm the firstborn.
Oh, okay.
And on top of that, I'm a girl. So you can
Chimete.
imagine there's so many ways to mess up as a girl who is the eldest in the family. You know, getting pregnant in your teenage years. You know, disappointing your parents, this and that, getting into drugs, drinking alcohol, blah, blah, blah. So my steps and everything in life have been very, very guarded to the point of where I feel like sometimes I'm a late bloomer. You know, and as much as now you're trying to pave the way to be the good girl, so that you something is also always drummed into you that you have to pave the way so that the rest can also follow, or else fall. Ukiingia kwa shimo, my dad used to give me this example. You know, unajuanga kondoo kuna kuanga na ule mwenye anali, akiingia kwa shimo, wengine wanafuata wanaingia. So you carry the responsibility of everyone else's life. You know, the path to their life.
And that's terrible.
I realized by the way that is not even anything that like.
And I have this thing my mom says. Yes. First daughters with their mothers, they kind of clash a lot because there's an expectation. And I saw it. My elder sister, hey, semechapwa. Even for my mistakes, she was beaten because there's always an expectation that you should always know what to do. And my sister, the difference between me and my sister is like 18 months. Yes. But the strides she's made, they are ukombele kabisa because I feel like for her, and I feel like as a child, that's an unfair thing. Because me, thank God I'm a second born. And being a second born, nobody really pays attention to you. For real, no. Because I remember when I did my Form 4, I did well, but it was like I said, congratulations. Yes. Everyone moves on. I went to uni, I did well. Congratulations. Nobody, and I feel even for our mistakes, nobody, atuna microscope. So you get to, so even for me to be a good girl, that was a choice that I made. And I feel like...
So being a good girl was a choice, you going to church and all that, because you knew you had the liberty to go wayward.
Yeah, I did.
Not really wayward, but just
God forbid I would. You know, and I feel like, I like to say this, I'm glad that, yes, my 20s were spent in that space. Yes. But I think I lost so many opportunities because I felt I didn't deserve them. I didn't deserve them because probably previously I had been mean to somebody. Previously I had been probably, like I said, kissed a boy. Yes. So there was a lot of that. But let me tell you something, life will always show you paper. You see that thing you always say never can be me, shall never be me. Yeah. It shall be you. Yes. Like the moment you say that, and I feel like I have learned this the hard way, that bad things don't happen to people because they're bad girls. Yes. They don't. They don't. Bad things happen to people because this is life. You know, it even you, everyone. You can be minding your business, walking on the right side, a car just comes and bumps into you. So I feel like life is not, as much as there are consequences, but you cannot really protect yourself entirely from life by being a good girl. Because there's a lot, and then you know now you put yourself on a pedestal. On a pedestal, it's true. You want society to approach you in that manner, and even things you cannot control. Because I remember when I was jobless, there was a point between I think 2018, 19, those 2 years I was jobless, and I feel like the biggest struggle. Because I mean I was at home, I was comfortable, I was doing a few things here and there. And then the thing that used to ache me most is that I had placed myself on a pedestal of this shouldn't be happening to me. It can happen to other people, but,
But not
me, God, me, I am a good person, you know. I have never, God, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of that. And also you blame yourself a lot. Because I used to feel like I was good in school, you know, I worked hard. So why am I not getting a job? And then I used to see it as shameful. You know, like now that you don't have a job,
The good girl bit is always attached to shame. Failure is
let
failure
me
and
tell
shame
you, let me
walk
tell you,
together.
Lola, women have been conditioned to feel shame, as in the whole beauty industry relies on you not feeling that you're enough.
Yes.
So even for me, just learning that, I think it was very important for me to learn about shame, because I feel like shame, even how we are brought up, we are told, wewe usipate mimba, you will ashame me. Can't you be ashamed of yourself?
The most beautiful process in the world, being pregnant, carrying a child.
Imagine. And even sex in itself,
It's a shame.
It's a shame to even talk about it. And I feel like she also creates a case for can shame be used for behavioral improvement? Like, can you threaten people with shame so that they improve? And she says, yes, you can, but it is not a sustainable way of doing that. So there's that, and I feel like I've gone so much into that book. But shame, good girl, placing yourself on a pedestal takes away the whole
essence of you.
Yeah, the whole essence of you, because you're human. You will fail, you will fall, you will, I mean, this is life.
And through all that, you know, you get to learn. You know, the more the failure, the more lessons you're learning. So that means once you're a good girl, you're not learning any lessons. You're not even empowered, you're not giving yourself the tools to navigate certain issues and certain things in life.
Because again, you're not being authentic.
You know, exactly. You're not living for you.
Yeah, because I feel like I like to think of myself as a very progressive person.
Yeah.
So I'd have an opinion, but then I'd ask myself, what would people think about me? They see me in church every Sunday.
Can you imagine?
And then they're hearing me saying that abortion is a healthcare issue. So I am not being able to stand up for things that I believe in, because I have presented to the world a version of who I am. And I feel like I said, Nimtego.
But why should the world matter in one place? Because one thing I know about good girls and what we'd call bad girls, before we move to the bad girls and come back to the logical. According to you, what was the picture painted for you as someone who is a bad girl?
Hey, those bad girls, they don't respect men. The authority of men, they don't.
Remember, especially the biggest one was they will never get married. Men don't marry them. And then it's like marriage was the reward for the good girl and not a reward for the bad girl.
Exactly. I mean, they were like, hey. A bad girl, unakunywa pombe huko.
Yes.
You're wearing miniskirts there.
Unalala na wanaume tofauti.
Who do you think will marry you?
What kind of a mother will you be? What example will you show your daughters?
And so then you see, when you get to your mid-20s, you start seeing that's not the case, my dear. It's not. It's not.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I have seen it. You know, people who are authentically themselves go after what they want and they get what they want. Good girls, they get anything.
Yeah, and they keep biting their tongue.
Yes, you don't want to take that step towards what you feel you really deserve. Yeah. It's like you're curtailed. It's like you keep on holding yourself back because there are certain limits. Yeah. There are certain limits to being a good girl.
There are, especially if you have a personality. Like my personality does not mesh well with that good girl image. So I was struggling. You know, you like, hey, me, I'm telling you the things I've seen. Because you will see people who authentically present themselves. They're attractive. Even for you, when you are meeting men or women, I know you are naturally attracted to people who are confident.
They call them real.
Real. Yani, if this person says A, I am getting A. But now the problem is, for most of us, is that we will most of the time compromise showing up as your real person, because you'd rather be rejected as a fake than reject the real you. So you are showing up with a person that isn't you, just in case you're rejected. See, that's good. But
that is weird, leading with an inauthentic version, because the authentic version of you start feeling people will dislike.
And then actually I read in that book that most of us put on sort of a mask, so that even when you're rejected, they're not rejecting Lola. They are rejecting a version of yourself that is not you.
But it's still
so it is sort of like ikama kuva bulletproof, so that even when they shoot, they're not shooting at me. So I feel like one, you're playing yourself a lot, because you deny people the opportunity to experience you and your authenticity. So that's it. And then again, on bad girls, this whole thing and mentality that that I have come to learn, being a bad girl is more often related to speaking and knowing who you are,
standing up for yourself, owning who you are, going with how you feel.
You see, like if I feel like I need to go and take a drink,
exactly,
I mean, I'm not hurting anyone.
And then a brown bottle one. You know, this whole aspect, I think, is really the commercial industry is really benefiting from it. Because now we have wine, and then there is beer.
There's beer.
Girls are not supposed to take beer; they're supposed to take wine. So it's really everything has been commercialized from just the internalization and the conditioning that is put on women.
And you can imagine how unfair that is, for you to tailor yourself and fit into a version that society that don't know you have created. So I'm feeling as if bad girls, mostly the society views them as people who know. Like even you, when you hear people who are called bad girls, there are people who know what they want. There are people who ask for what they want, and there are people who leave the table when what is not what they want
is not served.
I'm leaving. But now for good girls, it's humiliate to you know, understand people, you know, be submissive, you know, this man, don't say, you know, my girl, you will never find a good man in this world. But bad girl, Asha discovered bullshit and she stepped. She's gone to the next, discovered bullshit, stepped. You see, and by the time the fifth one is coming, he sort of knows, but then this chick steps, so I have to step up.
True.
But now you, sorry, you are getting substandard services because you have said anything is good with you. And if I had a daughter, I don't know, I would raise that daughter to ask for things they want. I know we say they're too assertive, but what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. So there are things that you know, I don't know. That is what they knew. That is what they knew, and I'm glad that we've grown into a generation where we can think for ourselves and we can ask questions and we can question. So I remember there's this one statement my mom used to tell me, because I'm a journalist by profession. And when you're a journalist, you speak to people, you have to look them in the eye. And I was growing up, I used to see women being talked to and they're looking down, they're playing with something, they're fiddling with this and that.
Not make contact.
Just not making eye contact. And I was wondering, what's happening here? What's going on here?
What's up?
Because even with me growing with the whole good girl thing, I always knew when you speak to someone, look them in the eye, because there was no day I was talking to my dad and my dad would be like, why are you looking me in the eye? You're supposed to. I didn't get that, but I used to get that from my mom, like, and she would comment like, unaangalia watu kwa macho sana, wanaume wapendangi hiyo. And then they're like, wanaume wapendi wanawake wenye wanaangalia mtu kwa macho hivyo sana.
Because you know, wait, you know, when you make contact, it's like you're holding someone accountable for what they're doing.
Sorry.
Man, audacity. Let's continue, Lola.
Let's continue. So, what were you saying?
I was saying, sometimes even when you're learning literature, I mean in high school, you're told when you make contact, it's like it shows confidence, and also it's like you're holding someone accountable for what they're saying.
But then again, it was for men.
Yeah, so
apparently.
now how can you hold men accountable? Who are you?
I
I'm
don't-
not a woman. So I
Oh
get
my
that.
God,
There's a lot
yes.
of that. But then my late shosho, God bless her soul. My shosho used to tell me that I have the biggest eyes that look people deep into their souls.
So yeah.
And I feel like even for me, I like to look at people so that it never crossed my mind that men don't like that. I mean, who cares what men like? I
But
mean,
it was never, some of this conditioning is not about even what men want, or it's what women have grown up to believe men want or like. Because I met men, and there is no man who ever told me that,
I hear you.
Unaniangalia hivyo aje sana, mi unajua ni mwanamke mbaya ama I don't know what. No, most of them would be like,
these things are what women
think men want, which is so weird.
It's a whole industry in itself. Well. So I get that, and I see like
because that is even how they were also raised. I'm sure their mothers told them that, you know, grandmothers and all that. A good woman should be this way, that way. Because even if you watch a lot of weddings today, things have changed, especially for Christian weddings. You'd see the man looking the wife in the eye, and the wife looks back, and all that. But there are certain cultural weddings you attend.
The woman is,
especially the Swahili ones.
Really?
Woo! You've not seen them, the one where the woman is just down here the whole time during that ceremony, officialization ceremony. God. The woman is not supposed to look directly into the man's eyes. But it doesn't mean that those women are otherwise. But because of how they were brought up, yes, and apparently it was appealing. Men from that time found it appealing
to be timid.
Exactly. We have names for them nowadays. We have names for all those actions. That is just being timid, and it's also a show of submissiveness. And that you're not like kiherehere. Exactly.
Well, it must be hard to be a woman.
So along the way, I remember I realized that I'm very logical, because when you get into these situations, you find yourself questioning a lot more than just being going back, relaxing and going with the flow.
That's the word of of
you get yourself questioning, like, yes, I'm doing this, and then you also look around you and you're like, na si nani alifanya very different from what I'm doing, and it worked for her. And you're realizing there are also certain parenting, there are certain people who brought up their children like to be free, especially their daughters, to be totally free to go after what they want, to ask questions, to do all that.
Like for me, I mean, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Mwangi. Because you see, for me, I was a very curious kid. Like I used to ask questions, Mommy, why does this not happen? Mommy. And I have never, ever felt like I was asking too much. And I brought that to the world, you know. And for me, I also have grown up in a setting where if you want something, you ask for it. Like I would tell my mom, Mommy, if I get this grade in school, will you do this for me? Like for me asking, if I want something, say just ask for it. Ama, why should I pay? You know, so I brought this kind of dynamic to relationships where I ask for things, you know, like not material things or even material things. But now in this context,
maybe it's your love language.
But now in this context, I mean, I don't think men usually have a problem. Anyway, nobody cares what men want and don't want. But I'm just saying, in relationships, or rather, society does not really frown upon asking for material things. I think how society is set up, patriarchy and all that, you asking for material things like, hey, can you take me there? Hey, can you give me? That's not a big deal. But women asking for emotional things, women asking questions about emotional stuff, that's where the line is drawn. Because I like to say this, and this is just me, but I don't see why. If I want something from you emotionally, for instance, I want you to communicate better. That doesn't make me needy. It's me telling you that you're not meeting my need in 1, 2, 3 ways. So I feel like now bringing that being free and asking for things to relationships, well, that didn't go well, because now You start being called needy, clingy, and all those things.
Sumbua.
Yeah, sumbua.
Nagging.
Nagging.
You know, there are terms that have been given to women who are persistent.
Who ask for things, nagging. Because if I want us to talk about something and you say it's not a big deal, but it is to me, you know. So I feel like, well. Society sometimes, it just sets you up. Because and when a man comes and tells you, I want us to talk, hey, you start saying, well, that man is emotionally available, you know.
Which is kind of true, because with everything that we are saying, women are brought up to lean more towards the emotion, and the men to lean to be emotionless in a way, to detach from their emotions. And if you look at it, a lot of the bad girls who are considered bad girls, people who are considered bad girls, have decided to do away with the emotions. They're not attached to the emotions that come with certain things. I go, I drink, I'm okay. I felt
no
like
questions asked.
I go, I sleep with a guy, I'm okay.
I
had a need that needs to be fulfilled. I'm not thinking about that. No questions asked. But the good girls attach some of all these actions to emotions. You know, you might even sink into depression thinking about what you did, because you were not raised. You were not raised to be that kind of a person. And labeling.
Because now you'll find, probably, I'll go out for a drink on a Saturday, for example. I'll go out for a drink on a Saturday, and I'm with my friend, and we're having a good time. And then after that, I'll be like, bye. Then on Sunday, I'll shower, go to church. Like for me, kitambo, those things used to be, hey, this is a hypocrite. You know, like, who is a hypocrite, by the way? You don't respect the house of God. Then now, I know how to separate things, because this thing has nothing to do with the other thing. And just because I am having a good time does not mean I am a drunkard. It's just a good time. Hey, it's just a
So you grow up learning that logically. You grow up learning that it's important to always tap into yourself. What do I want now? What do I need now? How does this make me feel? And when it comes to feeling now, you tap even further. Why am I feeling this way? Is it because of my upbringing? Is it because of the conditioning I've had? Is it because of what I have heard or what I have seen? You get. But I think the biggest lesson for me has been, and it still is, that there is no good girl, bad girl. We are all
women.
We should all raise people to just be logical human beings.
And being yourself.
As long as you're doing something that does not affect another person directly or indirectly somehow, it's okay. You don't get drunk and go and abuse people and all that. Yes, that's okay. I had a drink, I went home, I felt good, that's good. You know, you have sex with you felt like having sex. We're all biological beings.
Human beings.
Exactly. So that's what you wanted to do at that particular time.
Again, I feel this way, and it's something that I read somewhere, I can't remember, but at the end of the day, we're all women in this patriarchal world. Because you consider yourself, let me give you an incident. One Saturday morning, I'm going to work. So where I go to work, or where I used to go to work, is I panda a mat from my house, then I go to Kikuyu, then from Kikuyu to Westi. So now, that day I had a very short dress. It's a Saturday, you're feeling nice, you have a short dress, you're going. So I leave them first mat. On my way to the second mat, I hear people cheering, like, and catcalling, and madam, umekuja sana, you know. So now they're gathering around me. You know how stage inakuanga. They're gathering around me. One is on this side, then there's a guy who said, my dress, my choice. What have I vile wanataka? They want. So
was he saying it like sarcastically?
No, like he was like ashanini na yeye. Hapana, huyu amekuja sana. Sijui nini. So one guy holds me here. And so the dress had long sleeve, but it was quite short. So when they're arguing amongst themselves, I slept.
The touching.
I slept. And I went to a certain friend of mine who sells socks, stockings, and I bought a stocking and I continued going to work. But when I was doing that, there's some women who sell things around there. No one cared. But then those women never cared.
They didn't.
They
want to-
didn't, but
and those are their sons. Some of them are their
yeah,
sons,
and
some of
maybe
them are their
them they
brothers.
consider themselves good women
Yeah.
who are looking at a bad. What is she trying to show our
Wasichana
men?
wanavaanga hivyo siku hizi,
Eh.
wanavaa vibaya, tunawaambia na hawajui.
Wacha wafunze. So there are women who are talking there. So when I go there, the guy told me, kumbe ni wewe una whatever. So now I was like, that's how the world is. Like women are raped by men every day. And there's a time a woman told me, even in church, I had some days, Josie too,
Yeah.
that if you wear like that, can you blame someone for
Unexpect-
raping you?
Yes.
And you see, this whole good bad girl thing
Is what brings about
is
that.
what brings that division amongst us. Because even if you're a bad girl, one day, or a good girl, one day you'll be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you will be raped.
Yeah.
Because rape has nothing to do with whether you're a good girl, whether you're a virgin, whether you're a whatever. Nobody cares. This is what it is. So I feel like the classifying of good girls deserve good things, bad girls deserve bad things. That is what brings about all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Because now you see,
And I think even a lot of bad girls, as much as we might, as much as we want to do away with those tags, but let me just continue with the term. As bad girls, some of those girls who are in that position and they are called bad girls, they are dealing with also their own different things, like with their own different traumas. And some of them are sinking more into depression because they feel like, this is the way I am, this is who I am. And they're getting even worse and worse and worse. As much as some of them are getting what they want, because today we are looking at bad girls from the aspect of what we were not allowed to do, and they do,
and they
what
do.
makes them to be considered bad girls. But then again, we have extremes of bad girls, and who are proudly owning it, but in a very destructive way.
In a destructive. I get that.
Yes.
So what I see, or how I would see it, is there is what is conventionally right and wrong. Like there are things that are just not because you're a woman, but just because you're a human being. When you tap into that and you start doing those bad things, then you're a bad person. You're not even a bad girl. You're a bad person. And then there's also this other side of now tagging people.
Yes.
I think tagging people comes from a self-righteous point of view.
You're here, I'm here, you're there.
Yeah, because me, if I think of myself when I was a good girl, I was a terrible human being. I was mean.
I was judgmental.
Like
for me, I was
you, all this, you had this boyfriend again. But what you miss in all that is that we are all going through transitions, and
they're never easy.
And they're never easy. So for me, from how I see it, is you're either a good person or you're a bad human being. It's not a girl boy thing, because you see, like among men, you'll find a man calling himself a good man. I'm a good man. I don't cheat. I don't do this. But you're a terrible human being. You're pathetic. Bad boys are usually, and you know why?
Which is so weird.
Let me tell you why. Women or generally people are attracted to confident people.
Yes.
If you're giving confident vibes, I'm there. And I feel like bad boys give that kind of, or I'm going to do whatever I want, and I feel like that is what attracts people to them.
Yes.
But you are a good guy, you are a terrible person, you are bad, you are I don't know. So
but it does come with a lot of connotations. The good girl is boring. And then we have extremes of good girls. And I've met extremes of good girls. The prayerful one, always fasting with the Bible in the house and asking themselves, why am I still single? They're not trying to leave out there into the world because they'll be affected by sin.
But I have friends who are church girls, like really. And those girls are good girls. Like they're fun, they're nice. Like you go out, not out that but
I know I know they're kind of fun. They're rushes
you go hiking,
but they have real fun.
They have real fun.
It's called clean fun. I call it clean fun.
And I feel like that's a good. I'm not saying that being in church is a bad. In fact, me, I'm in church. But now I'm talking about people who are even probably serving in church, who are probably pastors in church, but they're in the middle of life, they're living their life, they're tapping into their authenticity. I think that is where it is.
The point is just be your authentic self.
Yeah, tap into your values.
Don't matter. If the society brands you the good girl, but you're still, that is you, and it makes you comfortable, you're in a very comfortable space being there, that is still good.
That is
if society has tagged you the bad girl and you're happy, that's what makes you happy. That is it. Just tap into your authentic self. Like live. In like 70, 80 years, probably won't be alive. You'll be forgotten. You'll be dust. You'll be all that.
And just me, I think that's what I would say. Like, just tap into your values. You know, there are people whose values are 1, 2, 3. As long as you're living within your values, and I think this is what I should have led with. Like, just live within your values.
Live within your values, and the logical aspect of it comes from the fact that we've grown up in the current generation. We are allowed to think as women. Back then, your ideas didn't matter. Your opinions didn't matter. All that didn't matter. That's why I think a lot of the women were not free to express themselves as we are free to do so today. As long as you're still within the limits of being kind, within the limits of not being mean, you know, you're allowed to be logical, you're allowed to ask questions, because your life and another person's life, if someone wants to come into your lane, you have to know why they're coming into your lane. You have to ask them, hey, let me know, what are we doing? How are we doing this? You know, not just entering someone's vehicle and driving away, and you're like, oh, let me take you wherever you want to take me. I know it sounds romantic, but no, it's not romantic.
At the end of the day, there's a lot of we used to, you know, okay.
Guys, we had to cut it again. Someone had to pass. I know you've had a lot of that. But anyway, Esther, what were you saying?
What was you saying?
You were saying we were talking about the logical aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
Being the logical.
Yeah. So now there's this thing I usually say, and I don't know how you feel about it.
Yes.
But I usually find it ridiculous. That someone surprises you with a marriage proposal. I don't know. I find it very ridiculous. That's one. The second thing I find very ridiculous is if a guy just makes a move on you sexually and you go along with it because men are supposed to initiate it. I find those two things very, very ridiculous, because, and this is just me, because if we are making a decision about the rest of our lives, I don't think I should allow someone else to make that decision for me. So I like to say this, and probably people say it's not logical, or it's not, it's an ideal kind of thing. But I have seen people who discuss marriage. You see, like, I'd like us to get married December. What do you think? Then the other person will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it is not a gift a man is giving you to marry you. So I feel
Thank you for being a good girl. Here you go.
Here you go, and then you'll be like, yeah, thanks for choosing me. What did I do with that? So I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm coming from with that, because I like to be clear. Like from the beginning, you're like, oh yes, we're having fun, but would you think marriage is something you'd like to explore? Yeah, so that and I feel like that gives me some sort of power and in whatever we create. That goes also towards sex. When someone makes a move on you, and sex, I don't know about you guys, but maybe sex, to the way we have been socialized, sex is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. You're sharing your body with someone else. So when someone makes that move on you, and you're like, yay, men should initiate, what do you feel about it? I feel like this, and people usually say when you talk about it, it takes the fun out of it. But then, I mean, this is
your body.
Yeah, it's your body.
When it comes to, I don't know about men, but when it comes to women, there is a lot that can go right or can go wrong.
Yeah,
in terms of sex.
yeah.
Anything that happens, the aftermath of it is the woman who is gonna deal with
yeah,
it.
yeah, true.
At
Yeah,
least 80%, maybe 20% the man, but 80% it's you who is going to be dealing with it.
yeah.
So
Even the general feeling
yes.
of I had sex with this with this person. So how do I feel about it?
Yes.
So some women are like, I'm just going to move past it. Then again, I'm like, it's a decision we're making. We don't, when we decide that we are going to have sex at some point, doesn't mean that we have to have it right now.
I know that's a discussion for another time, but when you're in that
yeah, anyway, so
the movies have lied to us that mnaangaliana kwa macho,
you
just know, and then you start kissing and everything happens. But the truth is, I think along the way you realize sex is also not about the sparks. That's why you have to be logical. When you grow up as a woman and you start becoming logical, you start looking into each and everything, not as just a mere happening. This is important. It's happening to me. So how can I make it better? How can I present it to my partner or to someone I am working with?
And how am I going to feel?
And how am I going to feel? Which is very important. How would you feel about it by the end of the day? That is the logical way to go about it. And just embracing the freedom that we've been given, by passed across generations. As much as we talk about our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, and blah blah blah, and how they try to raise us and how we are going against it, the point is they've given us with a certain liberties we are enjoying, they did not enjoy, and I do not take that for granted. You get? As I transition from being a good girl to a logical girl. Logical for me is a balance. That means tomorrow I can wake up and be this or that, and I'm still happy and comfortable because that's what I want to be. I appreciate them in a way for those liberties because they had to pave the way. It wasn't really easy for them. Can you imagine us sitting down during my grandmother's time with a man and talking about sex?
How now? It's you put like for them it was just something they do as an obligation because you're married. So you do it, and
questioning like, oh babe, no, there was no even baby.
There's no
but just questioning like, what do you think of our marriage? Do you think it's going well? Where
would
can
you
we work?
even say that, hey, I did not enjoy sex? How did you know how to enjoy that? So I feel like and I also appreciate that but then again, it's so unfortunate because we still are afraid to talk about these things. Like, you're talking about sex openly. How dare you?
Okay, maybe to a certain generation, but with today's generation, I feel not even my generation. There is this Generation Z.
Oh yeah,
those kids are crazy. I think we are the balance. We are the balance, and then they just took it to a different level. That's oh my god.
I don't know, but
because I was in one of their group chats some time back, a WhatsApp group. I was just like, ouch, ouch. You're like, and the men are there. We have the boys and we have the girls, and I remember calling a friend of mine and going like, oops, I mean, this group and those children are crazy. My friend just went like, no, that's how they live and I love it. They're so free. I'm like, oh. And I started having to look at it from that angle of, yes, let's, they're rediscovering themselves and they're living in a generation where it's okay to rediscover and discover yourself the way they are. Over and over. But now, we also know that we have extremes, so let's not get into that.
Yeah, but it's an interesting time to be a woman and to be aware of these things. Man, if someone told me when I was like 2019 that this would be my line, I'd be like, where but I'm glad that I'm here. I'm not a slave to some sort of uniform or outfit that has been created for me to feed into. Every day I am rediscovering things about myself. I am learning. So it's lovely, and it's not all good days. The days that I betray myself a lot. I'm like, Apple, but it's a good thing that I know I betray myself. So it's a good space to be in, and I'm really glad that. For me,
what would be your final takeaway when it comes to today's topic of good, logical, and bad?
I'd be like, oh, my takeaway for today, or rather my closing words, or rather, yeah, I'd say this: being a woman is hard. It's difficult because once you're born, it's like everyone has an opinion of who you should be, and in terms of career, in terms of money, in terms of everything should be in moderation, because it's like you were created to serve a man. But the good news is, that's the bad news. The good news is there's so many materials around now to equip you to navigate that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that create a habit of being curious and learning like what works for me, because what might work for Esther is not work for Lola, and that's okay. And just because you feel like, I don't know, just because you feel like you're an outcast, because probably you thought you're not alone, but there's nothing, even the Bible says there's nothing that is new under the sun.
Yes.
Someone has walked into it, someone has experienced it, but women are not talking about it because we feel like we are alone. But the more you create, and you create a habit of being authentic in your conversations, you will learn that you're not alone in this.
Yeah, true.
And you will find your tribe. And when you find your tribe, then you will thrive in that tribe. So that would be just tap into your values, tap into your authentic self, and don't put yourself on a pedestal. I know we have this thing as women, you like to think you're not like other women. You put yourself up there, but
our journeys are so different.
Yeah, we're so different, and but at the same time we're so alike, because we're all struggling with the same thing, that is the patriarchy. That's my last.
Yeah, because I know for me, what I've come to learn along the way is allow yourself to grow into you. Allow yourself to grow into you. And by that, I mean, no matter how long you need to take that time. I know we women come with limits. We come with expiration dates. Ujafanya hii sahi, you're done. You've not done this right now. Oh my God, you're late. Oh my God, this won't happen for you. Oh my God, some people won't be considering you because you're past this and this and this particular age. But I think it is so satisfying when you're even if you're alone, being in a corner somewhere and you go like, wow, this is me. And you're happy that you got to do it by yourself, to learn yourself, and you know, by the end of the day, you're able to say, now that I know who I am, it's easy for you to invite someone else into your life. So if your whatever society has tagged you, you know, just leave you, embrace that particular life, and when that time comes for letting anyone special into your life, be it a child, be it a husband, be it anyone else, you'll do it with open arms, with no regrets at all, because you are your authentic self.
Yes, authenticity. That's where
authenticity. So guys, thank you so much. This is Lola Chila kama kawaida. We decided to have this talk with Esther because personally, to me, when I met her, I felt like she took my breath away, and I don't mean by the look of her, because when she opened her mouth, have you ever had someone speak something and you're like, oh, she has a I wanted to say something that could come out mean, but I'm gonna say she has a brain that works. Guys, me. And I remember when we also met, the topic that I was working on, it was at a time when I was doing the street conversations. The topic that I was working on, I think she also went like, oh, there's someone who can ask this. It's like she couldn't wait to answer what I was asking.
I know, right?
So that's how we met with Esther, and we hooked up. We will be bringing you a couple of episodes or so, different discussions, and let's see how everything goes. So thank you so much. Kindly subscribe, hit that notification bell,
please, kindly
button down there, so that at least you can be getting more episodes from me. And we're going to be bringing you more and more episodes. It can be the discussions here, it can be other things. So my channel is pretty much diverse. But thank you so much for being here. Asanteni. Bye bye. Good.
One episode.